Egypt from a major antiquities smuggling case that included artifacts from Afghanistan, Yemen, Iraq, Syria, and Egypt.
There's a big chamber to the right. I see it, with mummies.
Egypt, the land of pharaohs, pyramids, and mysterious tombs, never ceases to amaze us with its incredible discoveries.
The royal couple ruled over all of Egypt. She doesn't appear to be buried here. But does this place hold clues to the fate of the missing queen?
From hidden burial chambers filled with treasures to elaborate hieroglyphs that reveal secrets of the past, these discoveries aren't just about gold and glory.
Egypt, the richest source of archaeological treasures on the planet.
Oh, that's a fabulous one.
Each find takes us on a journey back in time. Some even leave us scratching our heads. Let's dive in. Number 1. Rock carvings of ancient Egyptian pharaohs found underwater. A team of archaeologists was exploring the Nile near Aswan, Egypt, when they stumbled upon a hidden underwater world of carvings and paintings. Talk about a lucky break. These aren't just any old doodles, they're portraits of powerful pharaohs like Amenhotep III and Thutmose IV. The crazy thing is, these masterpieces were hidden for decades, submerged by the construction of a giant dam. It's like finding a lost city, but underwater. While UNESCO managed to rescue many treasures before the dam's construction, some artifacts, including these intricate rock carvings, were lost to the waters. This discovery is huge. And the best part? This might just be the tip of the iceberg. Who knows what other secrets are hidden deep in the Nile? Maybe there's a whole underwater city down there, complete with sunken pyramids and sphinx cats. Who knows? Number 2. The Mummification of Seti. Let's wear our archaeology caps and head on to our journey to the Valley of Kings. Our exact destination? Seti I's tomb. On October 16, 1817, Giovanni Battista Belzoni discovered this long-hidden mystery tomb located in the southeast branch of the Wadi. It's one of the longest, deepest, and most beautifully decorated tombs in the valley. So what did they find inside this tomb? Well, there is a list. Wall paintings and reliefs depicting various religious texts and deities, including the Book of the Dead. A magnificent alabaster sarcophagus with detailed carvings from the Book of Gates. This sarcophagus is now housed in the Sir John Soanes Museum in London.
He looks almost perfect. Not what you might expect from a body over 3,000 years old.
Fragments of canopic jars, which were used to store the pharaoh's internal organs, also were discovered. Lastly, several side chambers and annexes were used to store funerary goods intended to assist Seti I in the afterlife. Quite a custom Egyptians had. Would you like to see Seti's mummy someday? Well, don't forget to visit the sarcophagus at least the next time you visit London. Number 3. Tutankhamun's true burial chamber. Another fascinating discovery in the Valley of the Kings is the tomb of Tutankhamun.
A pillar, and I can see already there is a jet pillar decorated on it.
But this one is different. It had everyone talking about it. Designated KV62, the tomb of Tutankhamun is one of the most intact pharaonic tombs ever found. On February 16, 1923, Howard Carter and his team officially opened the sealed burial chamber, revealing things that became historic for life. Inside the stone sarcophagus were 3 nested coffins. The innermost coffin was made of solid gold, while the outer 2 were crafted from gilded wood. The mummy of Tutankhamun was found inside the innermost gold coffin, adorned with a magnificent gold mask. But that doesn't end here. The tomb of Tutankhamun has its share of curse. I mean, that's what people believe. According to a myth, Those who disturbed the tomb would suffer bad luck or death. All this was fueled by the untimely death of people involved in the excavation. Number 4. Egyptian mummies unearthed after 2,600 years. You won't believe what archaeologists discovered at Sakara, a 2,600-year-old sarcophagus. When they opened it, they found a mummy wrapped in stunning, intricately decorated linen with bright, colorful designs and inscriptions still intact. This sarcophagus is just one of 59 coffins found in this ancient burial site, all dating back to Egypt's 26th dynasty, which ran from 664 to 525 BC. So what do people speculate about them? These coffins are likely the final resting places of priests and high officials. But that's not all. They also unearthed 28 statues of the god Ta-Soka and a beautiful bronze sculpture of Nefertiti. Sakara, famous for the step pyramid of Djoser, showcased these incredible finds at the Grand Egyptian Museum when it opened in 2021. Number 5. Ancient Egyptian tech revealed. Have you ever wondered how the ancient Egyptians managed to build those incredible pyramids and temples with such precision? It turns out they were tech geniuses.
It's an exact cylinder and has strange lines scored into it, which are perfectly spaced. In fact, it's one continuous line, like the grooves of a record.
They used advanced construction techniques with stone cutting so precise that the Great Pyramid of Giza almost perfectly aligns with the true north. Their hydraulic engineering was top-notch, with tools like shadufs for managing Nile floodwaters to keep their fields fertile. And it doesn't end here. Their skill set was whole another level. Egyptians were also skilled metallurgists, creating high-quality bronze and intricate gold jewelry. Their medical practices were impressive too. They used early surgical tools and had detailed treatments for various ailments. They even had advanced knowledge of astronomy, aligning their structures with future events. And let's not forget their sophisticated hieroglyphic writing system and the innovative use of synthetic glass. Ancient Egypt was truly ahead of its time. Number 6. The Lighthouse of Alexandria. Let's talk about one of the most legendary structures of the ancient world, the Lighthouse of Alexandria, or Pharaohs. An incredible tower, standing up to 430 feet tall. And it wasn't just tall, it was a marvel of engineering. The pharaohs used a combination of fire and polished bronze mirrors to reflect sunlight and create a visible beacon. At night, it was believed to have a large flame or a blazing fire to guide ships. The Lighthouse of Alexandria was the original lighthouse prototype. Think of it as the ancient world's GPS, helping mariners navigate treacherous waters. Sadly, after facing several issues, it eventually crumbled in the 15th century. Number 7. Encoded messages in Egyptian tombs. While exploring the ancient Temple of Osiris in Egypt, researchers stumbled upon something that left them scratching their heads. Hieroglyphics over 2,000 years old. And here's where it gets crazy. They seem to show modern technology, images of what look like aircraft, helicopters, and even submarines. Dr. Ruth Hover, who made this discovery, believes these symbols might represent ancient tech.
And incised in the stone itself of this oldest temple along the Nile were these figures.
Even more intriguing is the Sakara bird, a 2,000-year-old wooden carving found in Egypt. With its aerodynamic shape, it resembles modern aircraft. And our dear scientists went for extensive testing to discover this ancient model could actually fly. Could it be that the Egyptians had a grasp on aerodynamics far earlier than we ever imagined? Number 8. The quest for Cleopatra's lost tomb. Cleopatra's tomb is one of history's greatest mysteries. Though we know she was buried with her lover Mark Antony, the exact location of their final resting place remains unknown. Could it be hidden beneath the bustling streets of modern Alexandria? Well, recent exploration suggests their tomb might be hidden beneath the modern city. Cutting-edge technology like ground-penetrating radar and satellite imagery is helping archaeologists scan for signs of the lost tomb. One exciting theory points to the Temple of Taposiris Magna, a site that has already yielded astounding artifacts. What if these ancient symbols and artifacts could finally lead us to Cleopatra's tomb? Each new discovery adds to the puzzle, and we are hoping that we might one day uncover the final resting place of Cleopatra and Antony. Number 9. Ancient Tomb Raiders. Ever wondered who raided ancient tombs long before modern archaeologists came on the scene? The stories of these ancient tomb raiders are as thrilling as they are mysterious. Centuries ago, a bunch of treasure-hungry adventurers were obsessed with Egypt's royal tombs. Armed with tools ranging from basic picks to super-secret tunneling plans, they broke into these sacred spots like it was nobody's business. But danger makes things more exciting, right? These tomb raiders faced all sorts of crazy stuff: booby traps, hidden rooms, and maybe even a few ghostly encounters. These raiders were living on the edge, but their actions weren't exactly a gold star in the history book. Because of them, we're missing pieces of the ancient Egyptian puzzle. We condemn their actions, but we can't help but be fascinated by their daring exploits. I mean, who wouldn't want to know what it was like to explore a hidden tomb? Number 10. 3,000-year-old city discovered. A city that has been hidden beneath the sands of Egypt for 3,000 years. That's exactly what was discovered in 2020. Aten, an ancient Egyptian city that's turning heads in the world of archaeology. This incredible find is considered one of the most significant in recent Egyptology. And would you believe me if I tell you that this city, which dates back to the reign of Pharaoh Amenhotep III, has been remarkably preserved, with buildings and artifacts still intact? Insane, right? Egyptologists are buzzing with excitement as they dig deeper into Aten. Could this city get us new insights into the power and wealth of one of Egypt's greatest pharaohs? Number 11. New discovery inside Great Pyramid of Giza. Hold on to your hats because this is going to get crazy. Archaeologists have just uncovered a hidden corridor inside the Great Pyramid of Giza.
In my opinion, is the most important discovery on the 21st century.
And this isn't just any old find. It's being hailed as one of the most significant discoveries of the 21st century. Thanks to cutting-edge technology like muon tomography, which lets scientists peer inside without even touching the structure, we're now seeing a new corridor that no one knew existed. This technique has revealed a passageway that could totally change what we know about the pyramid's construction and purpose. Why is this so thrilling? Well, this corridor might help us understand more about how these ancient builders created such an architectural marvel. What do you think this hidden corridor might reveal? Number 12. Newly discovered pyramid in Dashur. A brand new pyramid hidden beneath a local quarry has just been discovered. That's right. Buried under centuries of sand and stone, this ancient structure was just waiting to be unearthed. Dashur is already famous for its iconic pyramids, like the Bent Pyramid and the Red Pyramid. But this latest find adds a whole new layer of intrigue. I can only imagine the excitement when the team first uncovered the pyramid and then found a passage leading straight into the heart of the tomb. This is a major breakthrough.
Egyptologist Dr. Chris Naunton has spent his career hunting for these lost tombs.
What makes this discovery so fascinating is the potential it holds. Imagine what we can get to know through this discovery. Egyptian burial practices, construction techniques, and even the identity of the pharaoh or high-ranking official buried inside. The adventure into ancient Egypt's past just got even more interesting. Number 13. The mysterious ancient Egyptian symbol. Ever wondered about that weird looped cross you see everywhere? It's called an ankh.
Today, I want to talk to you about the ankh. I decided to do this video because in many videos regarding the Egyptian gods, this symbol appears.
And it's way cooler than it looks. This little symbol is like the ancient Egyptian version of the infinity sign, but with a dash of magic. It's been around for thousands of years, and people are still obsessed with it. The Egyptians thought it was the key to eternal life, like literally a key to unlock the afterlife. Pharaohs were always rocking it, like it was the ultimate fashion accessory. But here's the kicker. It didn't just stay in Egypt. This symbol is like a time-traveling trendsetter. You'll find it in fashion, art, and even spirituality today. So, next time you see an ankh, remember it's not just a pretty picture. It holds deep meanings. Makes me wonder what 1,000 other signs repeated in Egyptian inscriptions hint at. Let's keep it for imagination only. Number 14. Tutankhamun's dagger. Howard Carter was exploring King Tutankhamun's tomb in 1925 when he made a historic discovery. Among the treasures was a dagger crafted from a peculiar metal.
So in 2016, they studied King Tut's dagger and discovered that it was likely to be made out of meteorite iron.
One that didn't originate on Earth, but rather from a meteorite. Wild, isn't it? This discovery raises eyebrows because it was way before the widespread use of iron in ancient Egypt. While the rest of the world was just starting to toy with iron, here's King Tutankhamun owning a dagger made from the stars themselves. Quite a king he must be. Modern science has only deepened the mystery. Analysis of the dagger's metal composition reveals a close match to iron meteorites. The presence of nickel further validates its extraterrestrial origins. It's like finding a piece of outer space right in the heart of ancient Egypt. Number 15. Pristine Tomb, found in Sakara's ancient necropolis. Archaeologists just uncovered a 4,000-year-old tomb in Sakara, Egypt, belonging to Kufu, a bigwig of his time. The tomb is like a living museum.
Egypt has unveiled a well-preserved 4,400-year-old tomb with hieroglyphs and statues south of Cairo.
The walls are covered in these super vibrant paintings that look like they were done yesterday. You can almost picture the artist's hard work, bringing Kufu's imagination to life. Sakara is already a star when it comes to ancient discoveries, but this tomb is like the cherry on top. It's giving us a front-row seat to the lives of the ancient Egyptians. But the crazy part? This is just the beginning of Sakara's explorations. Who knows what other secrets are hidden beneath the sands of Sakara? Number 16. Pharaonic Mummies Parade. Imagine witnessing a parade of kings and queens. No, not kings and queens of London, but the dead ones of the Egypt. That's exactly what happened in Cairo a few years ago.
And include Amenhotep I, Ramses II, Ramses III, and Queen Nefertiti.
They rolled out the red carpet for 22 mummies, including the likes of Ramses II. You know, the pharaoh with the epic beard. These mummies weren't just chilling in a dusty museum. They got a VIP treatment. They were driven around in style, like celebrities on a world tour. And dude, You can only imagine the traffic jam these mummies caused, probably worse than rush hour. It was more than just a parade. Egypt was showing off its ancient treasures to the world, and yes, they delivered spot on. Number 17. Lost Golden City. A 3,000-year-old city buried beneath the sands of Luxor, Egypt. This city, known as the Lost Golden City, or Aten, was announced by the renowned Egyptologist Zahi Hawass. What's truly remarkable is that this ancient city, dating back to the reign of Pharaoh Amenhotep III, was uncovered in just a few weeks of excavation, starting in September 2020. You can see in the video what the city looks like: complete walls, rooms filled with everyday stuff like pottery and jewelry. It's like walking through a time portal. You can almost imagine people going about their daily lives there, just like we do now, but with way cooler clothes and hairstyles. Number 18. Sphinx-like statue discovered in Egypt. A stunning new find on the banks of the Nile River in Luxor. A newly discovered statue that's strikingly similar to the iconic sphinxes of ancient Egypt. This statue isn't just a random piece of stone.
A new statue resembling a sphinx has been uncovered, though it is believed to be of Roman origin.
It's believed to represent a significant historical figure. Who could it be? Some king, saint, or tyrant back then? No one knows for sure. Right next door to this cool sphinx, they found a shrine. This place must have been hopping with priests and rituals back in the day, making us think that the statue might belong to some saint of the time whom people used to follow or maybe even worship. Number 19. 5,000-year-old boat in Egypt. A boat so fancy it was meant to take you to heaven? That's exactly what the ancient Egyptians did for their pharaohs. The Kufu ship is like the ultimate VIP ride to the afterlife. Discovered near the Great Pyramid of Giza,
it's the second of a pair of boats that were buried in pits next to the pharaoh's final resting place.
This boat is no ordinary vessel. It's a masterpiece of ancient engineering, built with cedar wood and assembled with mind-blowing precision. What amount of effort and skill it took to create something so grand. These people were like the NASA engineers of their time. Maybe there's a whole fleet of afterlife boats waiting to be found. Number 20. 2,600-year-old sarcophagus and treasures returned to Egypt. A group of treasure hunters raiding ancient tombs, stealing priceless pieces of history. Sounds like a bad action movie, right? It actually happened. But there's a happy ending to this story. The United States just pulled off a major archaeological heist of their own, but in a good way. They managed to get back a bunch of stolen Egyptian goodies, including a 2,600-year-old sarcophagus. That's literally recovered a lost treasure chest. These artifacts from ancient Egypt tell stories about pharaohs, their supposed gods, and everyday life back then. Number 21. The Great Sphinx of Giza. The Great Sphinx is one of the most iconic symbols of ancient Egypt. We all know the Sphinx as the guardian of the pyramids, but what about its own story?
The Great Sphinx of Giza. This ancient sculpture is unsurpassed in its scale and ambition.
Standing about 66 feet high and stretching 240 feet long, the Sphinx is not just enormous, but also incredibly mysterious. Traditionally, it's believed to represent Pharaoh Khafra, who ruled over 4,500 years ago. But here's where it gets interesting. Some researchers suggest the Sphinx might be much older, as old as Khafre's reign. And who can forget the missing nose? Theories abound. But the most accepted idea is that it was damaged either by Napoleon's troops or during later periods of iconoclasm. And do you know the Sphinx is carefully aligned with the cardinal points and faces the rising sun? Ancient Egyptian builders were indeed way smarter than we think of them. Number 22. Nubian Pyramids. Nubian pyramids aren't like the typical Egyptian ones. They're taller and narrower, giving them a unique look and feel. Think of them as the cool, younger siblings of the Egyptian pyramids, with their own special style. Dating back to 800 BCE, these pyramids were used as tombs for the royalty of Kush. They're smaller than the Grand Pyramids of Giza, but are beautifully decorated with hieroglyphics and artwork that tell the story of a powerful civilization that ruled the Nile Valley. Despite their grandeur, they were forgotten for a long time, until modern excavations brought them back into the spotlight. We definitely know quite little about the Kushite culture. Number 23. Catacombs of Kom el-Shokafa. Let's get into a time machine and land in ancient Egypt, but with a Greek and Roman twist. That's what it's like, visiting the catacombs of Kom el-Shokafa. This underground city of the dead is like a secret world hidden beneath Alexandria. A giant, round room filled with carvings and statues from different cultures. And the tombs? They're like fancy apartments for the afterlife, with whole families buried together. It's creepy, but also fascinating. Can you imagine stumbling upon this place by accident? That's actually how it was discovered. A donkey fell through a hole in the ground, and humans searching for it ended up discovering the catacombs.
Catacombs of Kom el-Shokafa were discovered in 1900, accidentally, by a donkey who fell into a shaft that led to the burial place.
It's a must-see for anyone who loves a good mystery. Number 24. Unearthing a rare burial chamber. Archaeologists have found this beautifully intricate tomb with stunning carvings and vivid wall paintings. The burial chamber they unearthed is a rare gem, showcasing unique architecture and lavish burial practices, which means whoever was buried here was definitely a VIP. The tomb is filled with all sorts of fascinating artifacts, from protective amulets and pottery to statues, each meant to aid the deceased in their journey beyond. There's also evidence that grave robbers had been there centuries ago. They left behind broken artifacts and scattered remains, and that's the dark history of ancient tomb raiding. Number 25. The Mystery of Queen Nefertiti. One of the most famous faces in history, but no one knows where her final resting place is.
Nefertiti's early life is also still a mystery. Her father was probably Ai.
That's the life of Nefertiti. She was the queen with the perfect face, the wife of a pharaoh who tried to change the world. But what happened to her? Did she rule Egypt as a pharaoh herself? Did she hide away in a secret tomb? And how do we know Nefertiti in the first place? Well, we've got this amazing bust of her, all beautiful and regal. This bust was discovered in 1912 and is now housed in the Neues Museum in Berlin. People have been searching for her tomb for ages, like it's some kind of ancient treasure hunt. Number 26. Excavating a burial painting. Dr. Bassem Gehad and his team have made an astounding discovery. A stunning portrait that's been buried for centuries, yet the colors and details are still visible. These portraits were often used during the Roman period in Egypt. They were placed over the faces of mummies, telling us about the faces and attire of people from that era. But mind you, excavating in the desert is no easy feat. Dr. Gehad and his team faced extreme heat and had to be incredibly careful to avoid damaging the fragile artifacts. But their hard work paid off. Number 27. The buried treasure of Sakara. Located just outside Cairo, the Sakara necropolis has kept us amazed since the day it was discovered. In 2020, archaeologists found an amazing collection of well-preserved sarcophagi and artifacts that left us all in awe. I'm talking about dozens of beautifully painted wooden coffins, shining golden amulets, and stunning jewelry. This treasure comes from the 26th dynasty, around 664–525 BC. Many of the coffins were discovered untouched, which is rare and gives us a clear view of ancient Egyptian burial practices. The artifacts also include items meant to assist the deceased on their journey to the afterlife. Number 28. Lost Labyrinth of Egypt. This labyrinth, described by ancient historians like Herodotus, was said to be located near the pyramids of Hawara.
Some researchers believe the labyrinth's design may have incorporated early forms of complex machinery, with massive stone doors operated with ease.
It was a grand complex, believed to be even more impressive than the pyramids themselves. Inside, it supposedly housed countless rooms with incredible hieroglyphics, statues, and treasures. While archaeologists have found promising evidence of large underground formations, the exact location and full extent of the labyrinth remain a mystery. What's so captivating about the Lost Labyrinth is the sheer scale and the mystery surrounding it. Imagine getting lost in such a maze. Number 29. Tutankhamun's mummy baffles historians. We have talked about Tutankhamun's burial chamber and his dagger before, but do you know the king himself was a complete mystery? This guy was basically a celebrity pharaoh, but his life was super mysterious. He was young, rich, and then gone. There are so many questions surrounding King Tut. Did he die from an accident, a murder, or maybe even a curse? Some people think he was killed because of all the cool stuff in his tomb. And let's not forget his family drama. His parents were probably related, which might explain why he was a bit sickly. So what is the real story of King Tut? No one knows for sure. Number 30. French archaeologist makes an exceptional discovery. Archaeologists just found a hidden treasure chest in Egypt. Well, kind of. They discovered a super old well that led to an underground tomb. It's like climbing down a deep hole in the desert and finding a secret room full of ancient paintings and stuff. The colors on the walls are still bright, even after thousands of years. They think the tomb belonged to a priest named Saabi. That's right, a real person who lived a long time ago. There were cool statues and pottery inside, but some of it was broken by ancient robbers. And that was it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon to get all our videos on time. Until next time.